Hey again, it's me. So this week we're going to be studying biography, and a biography is right. It's a true story about a person's life, but it's written by someone else. So remember we talked about word nerd, bio means life, and graphy means writing. So biography is a writing about someone's life. Remember, if it's an autobiography, it's written by that person. So if I were to write a story about my life, it would be an autobiography because I wrote it. But if you were to write a story about my life, right, it would be a biography because you're not me. Great. So we're going to learn about biography. Our skill for this week is problem solution. So remember that there's a problem and then there's a solution to the problem within the story. It's one of our text structures, one of the ways that authors organize text. So I'm going to have you listen to this story about George Washington Carver, scientist and inventor. You can see it on my screen. And I want you to think about what problem it was and how he was able to solve it. Okay, here we go.
George Washington Carver, scientist and inventor. George Washington Carver was born about 1861 on a farm in Missouri. He had been born a slave during the Civil War. This war was being fought to abolish slavery. When the war ended and Carver was freed, he found that he was interested in learning more about plants. It was this interest that would one day make Carver famous as a scientist and an inventor. The importance of education. At that time in history, it was difficult for many African Americans to get an education. But George Washington Carver did not give up. He finished high school and then went on to get a degree in agriculture from a university in Iowa. In 1896, Carver was asked to come to Alabama and teach at a college in Tuskegee. Carver used this opportunity to give young African Americans the knowledge and skills to improve their lives. Carver would stay at the school for the rest of his life. A farming experiment. For many years, cotton was the primary crop grown in the South. When the same crop is planted repeatedly, it weakens the soil. Carver knew that it was important for farms to grow other crops. A few people raised peanuts and sweet potatoes, but there was little demand for either crop. Carver began to look for other uses for peanuts and sweet potatoes. He began a series of experiments to see what could be made from these crops. Over time, he developed 300 products from peanuts, including flour, ink, dyes, and more. From the sweet potato, he made over 100 products, such as flour, vinegar, molasses, and even postage stamp glue. Soon, farmers were eager to grow peanuts and sweet potatoes. Through his work, George Washington Carver won numerous honors for improving the lives of so many. After he died in 1943, he was buried at Tuskegee University.
Okay, that's the story. So, did you think about the problem and what he did to solve the problem? Get those brains moving, friends. All right, did you think of something? Great. So, the problem was that the soil was being ruined by all the cotton, and he had to come up with a solution for people to use sweet potatoes and potatoes. Sweet potatoes and peanut butter. So he found a solution for that. And I want you to think about what that solution was. And I want you to go and share what you learned today with one of your parents. Share what you learned about George Washington Carver, scientist and inventor, with your parents. And that's all for today, friends. I love you. I miss you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.